G'day Internet, welcome back to another video. So last weekend we held our first local Canberra Retro Computer Fair and it was a success, by the way, so thank you to everyone who helped run it and to everyone who came along. But as we were packing up, an elderly couple came in and saw my Amstrad 464, which I had on display and running, and they said, whose Amstrad is that? And I kind of gingerly put up my hand and went, mine, thinking, oh God, what have I done wrong? And so they came over and they said, would you like another one? And I thought, okay, sure. I mean, the 464 does kind of everything I want it to do. So I went, yeah, okay. If you have one, I'm happy to take it. They went, it's out in the car. All right, so out we went and they popped the boot, and inside was this 6128, which is not a machine I've ever been that familiar with. A mate of mine, Randall, who's also a Patreon, link in the description, he has one, but my 464 has got the DDI5, so it's got the RAM expansion and the GoTech and all that kind of stuff. But this one, apart from maybe being a little grubby, seems to be in pretty good condition. But it wasn't just this. It's going to take me a moment. Ugh. Also in the boot was a GT65 monochrome monitor. And inside we have the original 6128 owner's manual. What seems to be a Spanish one, I think, with some basic commands and all the rest of it. That's there. Buried in here somewhere is an Amstrad joystick with the bypass port, which I'm told is rubbish. And finally, the GT65 monitor. And surprisingly enough, and this is the bit that actually got me, the tabs for wrapping up the power cable are still intact. Seems every monitor that I come across that has those kinds of things, they're broken. But yes, there we go. It's a bit dusty, and there's some cobwebs, but it all seems complete. But I haven't powered this on. So, where do I want to start? I think I'm going to start with the monitor. We'll test the voltage outputs both for the 5 volt and the 12 volt that comes out of the monitor. Make sure nothing goes bang, and then we will test the computer. So let's start there. Okay, multimeter, monitor, on. Well, nothing went bang. Do we have voltage? We've got 5.2 volts. This is a socket, so I grabbed one of my little doohickeys from one of my multiple power supplies, and we've got 11 point and a bit, this is a bit difficult, 11 point, there we go, 12 volts. Righto. Well, the output voltage from the monitor seems fine, so I'm pretty confident in plugging the computer into this, and the monitor didn't go bang. So that's always a plus. Okay, so here is our 6128. We plug 12 volt. The 5 volt comes from the monitor into the computer and the video connector. Right, moment of truth. Ha! It's alive! Nice! Brightness and contrast seem to be a bit... Oh. Okay, the pots are a bit on the scratchy side, Let's see if I can get it to sit somewhere where I like. Yeah, that looks all right. Awesome. Right. Keyboard. Okay. There we go. Clint will approve. So the other thing they handed me was some discs. I don't know what that is. We have Bol de Match, which I'm guessing is a French tennis game. Something called Beachhead. Oh, that is an original sealed 3-inch disc. Okay. This seems to be CPM with Dr. Logo. This is a Copper CPM Plus. Something called Disco Man. Okay. And another CPM disc. This CPM Plus System Utilities disc. So, let's see if this disk drive is working. Right, let's take Disco Man, A drive. Okay. Cat. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. I'll get you a better version of that. And that's kind of all it does. So I think the next step is to whip this drive out and see what's going on. Right, with my zoom lens on wide. Now, I've had my 464 apart a few times. Never pulled a 128 apart, but come on, how hard can it be? Oh, God. Right, bunch o' screws. All right, I'm going to assume that it has various ribbon cables and stuff. Yes. Okay. Let's carefully remove these. Right, and we've got, I'm guessing these are the LED connectors. Come on. 1 and 2. Right, they can go to one side. And here is our drive. It is held in, well, there's 2 screws here, and I suspect I've already pulled out the other screws. So here's our drive. Now we've got obviously a worm drive gear here in the motor to put the read and write head back and forth, but given there is a motor over here in the corner, I'm guessing this is belt driven. So how do we get this board out? Well, I'm just seeing these 2 screws here, so is that all there it is? It's got to be more than that, right? And I'm guessing these wires at the back need to come out. Probably should have done this before taking the screws out. Come on, last one. Right. Okay. Still seem to be attached somehow or where. Where am I attached? Ah, there's a wire that runs down in here. Can I just get to that with my fingers? Nope. Small set of needle nose pliers. All right. Okay, now it's coming loose. And what else have we got? Okay, so we've got this plug here. Come on. All right, and that one's kind of attached. Well, I actually have bits of broken belt. Now, the upshot of that is that it seems to have, oh, there's a little bit there. These belts normally turn to mush and make a big mess. This, on the other hand, apart from this little bit that's stuck to this bobbin here, seems to have just dried up and crumbled instead. So I just need to get that last bit off. Right. And of course, this bit has decided to stick white super glue. All right, I'm just going to soak that bobbin in some, what do I reckon, IPA? Let's let that soak for a minute. No, wait, I just found the rest of the belt. It was well disguised, I'll give it that. Beautifully and perfectly wrapped around here. Come on, be nice and just come off. No. Okay, now there is no more old belt. But the $64,000 question is, do I have a belt that is suitable to replace with? I do have some belts somewhere. Assuming I can find them. Yeah, they were right in front of me. Okay, collection of belts. Is there anything in here that is going to suit? Now, it needs to be a flat belt. If the remnants of the old one are anything to go by. That would probably work, but it's way too thick. Is that roughly the right diameter though? It's a bit big. Okay, you're out. No. That's the right size, but the wrong shape. Okay, none of these fit. But remember how I said that Randall had a 6128? He had a spare belt. Right, so all of that can just, like, go away over there somewhere. And we have a replacement belt. Nice. Look at that. Ooh, 2 replacement belts. Okay. And this should nicely go into here. Sort of. Come on. Oh, you pain in the ass. Right. And onto the capstone and nice belt. Okay, I'm going to put this all back together and then we can test it. Right, I haven't screwed everything back together. LED and speaker aren't plugged in. I've just got the keyboard plugged in. Right, so on. Right, okay. Let's grab a disc. Right. What were we trying? We were trying the Disco Dan. Right. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can get a look at what it's doing. It's spinning. Doesn't seem to be moving the head. Okay. I didn't plug the motor in for the head. I'm an idiot. Right, shall we try that again? Right. I can hear the head moving. Look, it works. Nice. Run. Don't seem to have any, they're all basic files. Hello? Whoops. What's your name? Lurch. How are you, Lurch? That's it. Someone has written over this disc. Let's try Beachhead. Side 1. Right. Run disc. It's looking positive. Hey! Amsoft presents Beachhead. I'm sure this would look better on a colour monitor, but the disk drive works. Look at that. The CPM Plus disc seems to work too. For all your CPM goodness. So that was pretty easy. We have a working 6128 now that the drive works. And yeah, I mean, it still needs a bit of a clean-up, but that drive was pretty straightforward as long as you've, got the right size belt. But here's the thing. I've got my 464, I've got that DDI for it. It can pretty much do everything this machine can do. And the 128's nice, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure, anyone with a 464 back in the day would have been ridiculously jealous of the 128. But I kind of don't have a massive use for it. But I know someone who might enjoy it. He's someone you may know. And for a while now, I've been trying to tear him away from his fascination with Commodore 64s. I've tried the Tandy Coco, which I kind of apologise for. The Specky, I've tried him with Atari 8-bits. Maybe Amstrad is going to be the key. So, let's see how we go. Right. So, everyone should know Mark.
Hi.
The other thing's down there. So, as part of my ongoing challenge to get you to look at things other than Commodore 64s, I have a gift for you.
Ooh. What?
It's an Amstrad
CPC something something.
6128.
Yes.
So this is
know
the
all about them.
sweet bugger all about them. Right. So I've been busy today. I've got the disk drive working. Need a new belt. Other than that, it all works. I haven't tested any of the edge connectors, which are renowned for getting dirty and bad contact. The dials on the front of the monitor are pretty average. Right now it's working, but don't breathe too close to it. So if I switch it on, come on. There we go. See, it works.
Cool.
There's also some discs, although I'm sure you will eventually put a Gotek in it. If you do, you owe Randall a drive, or give him that one. I'm not sure if it's possible, but it might be possible to actually... what does that say on the back? Does that say disk drive? It does. You might be able to run an external Gotek.
Okay. Sweet.
There are some games. There is a tennis game in French. Beachhead. There's CPM. Woohoo!
Yes. I love CPM.
Disco Dan. I've got no idea what it is, and it doesn't seem to load. And some blanks. Oh, this was actually cool. As I throw it away.
Just the discs themselves.
Yeah, but look, it's sealed.
Ooh.
Like never touched.
Wow.
I know, right? So there you go. Look, the black and white monitor's fine. You can easily make a SCART cable for it. That's what I originally did with my 464. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's all right. You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, not at all. It's like, come over. I've got something for you. I'm like,
Yeah, whatever. So there you go. Okay,
thank you.
that's all right.
Cool. So, what?
Why?
Why?
Well, see, the thing is, I've got the 464, right? And I've got the DDI. Well, it's the same width as they're about the same. Actually, it might be a bit wide. Oh, that's a good point. Hang on. Never even thought of that. Is it the same width? No, the 464 is wider. Right. So I've got the 464 and I've got the DDI5, which has got the big RAM expansion, the Gotek and everything else, and I've got the colour monitor. I don't need another Amstrad, and to be quite frank, I'm desperately running out of room as it is.
Bursting at the seams.
Bursting at the seams. What you can't see is like a whole stack of future projects like sitting over there and down there, and I've got more at work, and yeah, it's becoming an issue.
It's a little bit cramped.
Yeah. So there you go. We can add this to the list of things that I've tempted you with.
Nice.
I still apologise for the cocoa.
Yes.
That ended up as a hell of a rabbit hole.
This could end up as a big rabbit hole too. I don't know. I know literally nothing about them.
I really like this machine. This one, I guess. But I'd never seen... Well, that's not true. A kid up the road when I was like 7 or 8 years old had one. And we used to play Sorcery on it, which is like the game. But I wasn't allowed to touch it.
Oh.
I got to sit there and watch him play Sorcery. It was some rule of his father's. So yeah, I couldn't actually play it. And that was really for 35 years or whatever, the last I saw of it. And I picked this one up. This one came from Ingmar because he got a couple as a bulk lot.
Yeah.
And so I tied it all up, and then I've got the DDI5 and all the rest of it. And I really like it. It's got just enough kind of grunt to have some really good games. It's got a really nice colour palette, as opposed to the powerful C64, different shades of brown. If they ever got, is there a Doom? Did anybody do a Doom port for the Commodore 64? Because on a power Commodore 64, Doom would be perfect.
Not that I've seen for the 64. There is one for the VIC-20 though.
There is. Or is it Quake?
Out.
Or is it Quake that's really brown?
Quake's very brown.
Quake's really brown, right. Anyway, there you go. One Amstrad for you.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Awesome.
And there we go. What started off as a bit of a donation has ended in, well, a donation. I'm sure Mark will get some enjoyment out of that, and I'll be able to introduce him to the world of Amstrad. But for now, that will pretty much do it. If you liked the video, click like, subscribe, all the usual YouTubey stuff. As always, a massive shout out to my Patreons who are scrolling up the screen as I speak. And if you would like to help support the channel, there is a link in the description. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.